Raising Teens by Collett Smart with Ray Kington.
Do you ever feel weird?
As if.
Hello, this is Ray Kington. I am joined by psychologist and teacher Collett Smart. We are talking raising teens, making your teens the very best they can be, and giving you the information that you probably desperately need. Today we're talking about boys' image and boys' health. And Collett, I can tell you, as when I was about 13, 14, I remember hitting puberty and suddenly went from being a dumpy kid to a rake. The wind would blow over. And then, of course, at that point I went, you know what? I need to build some muscle. And like many boys, hitting the gym and you become quite obsessed with it. Look, it worked out for me, but for some boys, though, it can be quite a really enveloping scenario where it just takes over their life.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about body insecurity in boys because we automatically think about body image issues in girls. Yeah. And we will talk about that on one of the podcasts. But boys' body image and body insecurity is so much more common than we realize. We're having pediatricians raising concerns now over the increase in muscle-enhancing behaviors in boys. So boys using steroids, binge eating, exercise dependence, things that we often think of as girl issues. And times when I've done seminars for teenagers, whenever I ask a group of teenage boys what they think the main area of body focus is for boys, they will yell out a six-pack. Boys, and they are conscious of it from 7, 8 years old. Boys are already talking about six-packs. Boys tend to worry about how muscular they are and whether they're too skinny. Exactly your scenario. Yeah. And boys are far less likely to address these body image concerns. They're much more likely to struggle alone because they think of it as, well, you know, that's a girl's issue, and so I don't bring it up, or I must be the only one struggling with this on my own. And then when boys are criticized or people joke about their skinniness, they laugh it off as a joke, but actually underneath they're carrying a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. Yeah.
The six-pack thing is a relatively new thing, though. I certainly don't remember boys talking about it, probably even know what it was for years later. Certainly for boys, from my experience, the muscle thing is a masculinity thing.
Yes.
It's a defense mechanism as well, because you know, you don't want to be the guy that's getting sand kicked in his face.
Yes. You
don't want to be the dweeby guy, so you got to be, you know, a little bit muscular. But boys certainly can be uncomfortable, even taking their shirt off, you know, at the beach and stuff like that. They do actually have that feeling that girls often feel as well. It's a really common thing.
Yeah, and you've actually hit on what the evidence says, that boys do feel as though you're more manly or you're more masculine if you have a certain type of look, certain type of body. And our boys, the six-pack thing, I think, has come through a lot of, again, the media they consume. And it's not just celebrities, because we now have social media where boys compare with their peers. And so, it was initially, I think, fed by media images, and I don't think our superheroes help. But yeah, and I'm not against superheroes, but it's, you know, all the superheroes have a six-pack. But
except for Batman in the 60s. You've seen him. He was a little dumpy.
But you see how it's evolved. Even our heroes have changed. And so for our boys, they actually, even though there was a UK survey that said most boys say that looking good won't lead to happiness, but many of them still believe that there's a perfect male body that they should be striving for. And when they were asked, what does perfect mean? They say muscular, lean, athletic. And so they associate muscles with masculinity. And so what was interesting about this survey, though, was there's a general naivety in boys. They think that in advertising and social media, that it's only girls' images that are enhanced. The boys in the survey were shocked when they realized that even boys and advertising, but even their peers, are changing their images to post on social media. Yeah. And so it's important to point this out to them and point out to our boys that male images are also changed.
Also, as an experience of being a teenage boy too, one thing that I do remember as a benefit of probably becoming a little bit obsessive about working out was that it was a great way to work off a lot of stress and tension, and things are changing, and sometimes you're a little bit angry about something, and you can pump some iron, and you'll feel a lot better after that too.
Absolutely. So it's not that we're saying our boys shouldn't be exercising. They absolutely need to be exercising. We know that exercise has the same benefits as an antidepressant. So for many of our teens, it's a stress outlet. It's a place that they can release anger or frustration. They can develop skills. So this is where we celebrate our son's skills, and we celebrate the skills he's developing in sport and so on, not just the end goal. And then celebrate your son's character. Talk to your son not just about how his body looks or his body changes after doing sport. Talk about his sportsmanship and the way he's treated his peers. But it's important to stay in touch with our sons and our sons' world. So getting them, just being aware, are they balancing their social media feeds with healthy, positive role models? They're YouTubers. Are they also following healthy YouTubers or activist movements that don't just focus on bodies and body image, but also people making a difference in the world? So what does character look like on the sports field? What does character look like in work, in school? Focusing on some of those areas for our boys.
One of the things that I've learnt in the episodes that we've been doing of this podcast is how important it is to always keep those channels of communication open all the time, and always looking for opportunities to talk about things that are going on in their lives, and also sharing part of your life as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we can talk about, as dads and mums, talk about the body image issues we had, because we all had them. And so I talk about the normalizing, helping your son realize that he's not alone, and he's not the only one or the first one to have insecurities about his body. And some of those stories are helpful when they come from us.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. Any question you've got, certainly send it to Collett. You can send it via the Hope Media app. You can send audio there. You can also send a message through to us as well. You can also reach us texting through it. It's the key portal to get through to this podcast, Raising Teens.